All right. Welcome back, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome,
Happy New
Alex.
Year. Hey, hey, thank you. Happy New Year. We're back.
It's 2026. It feels refreshing to me. I'm kind of ready to just slap off all of the 2025 juju.
Yes, 100%. We're ready. Let's do this.
We had a really great legacy membership call yesterday. There were so many members that joined in, and that wasn't even all of our members. So I'm jazzed about that. Do we still use the word jazzed? I was jazzed about how many members showed up yesterday, and we were all helping each other. And it was just, this is the community that we've really wanted to build. And
Mhm.
I'm just really proud of everyone for, hey, it's the first Wednesday of the year and they're showing up and they're coming with questions and they're coming with needs and clarity. And we were right there for them.
Yep. It's fun to see some of those wins coming in. And yeah, it's great. Feels good. And I feel some good energy for this year. It's going to be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Talking about some wins, we have several of our members. They've been running ads since the beginning of their membership. So great to see our members actually implementing what we're teaching and seeing them grow. It really makes my heart full because we put a lot of effort into making this program actually really work. We respect people's time and money, and we want them to grow and thrive in the wedding industry. That's what we're here for.
That's right. Yeah. We've done it. And now we're teaching it and people
We're
are seeing
still doing it.
success. Yeah. And we still do it.
We're still doing it, which
And it's
I love.
evolving, continues to evolve. So when see the changes come in and we implement and have to record new videos, obviously, and but then teach it, and it's funny because I feel like we're the guinea pigs first. So we kind of try some new strategies out on our end and see what kind of hits, and then all of a sudden it's like, let's do it. I'm working on a couple things right now, which I'm not going to really mention yet, but it's pretty cool. I don't think anybody's taken advantage of this yet. I told you about it. I don't know if you can remember. I'm not going to name it, but I told you about it, shared some stats, and it looks pretty cool. And if I figure it out, I'm going to teach it. And I think it's just like, I don't know. I think it's a gold mine. Nobody's really using it yet.
I
And I
agree.
think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I have to be honest, and I know we're being very gatekeeping at the
Yeah.
moment, but when you told me about it, I was like, I have no idea even what this is about. It's good that Alex is keeping it under wraps so that he can figure it out and then he can teach us because I'm just
And
like,
that's
oh my
what we
gosh, I
do.
have no idea. And that's what we do. Exactly. Which I want to talk about something.
Hmm.
So we are getting about a lead a day during the week. So if we spread that out, maybe it's like 4 to 6 leads a week.
Mm.
And that is, I'm so thankful for that because there
Yep.
was this dead season in 2025 where, nobody was inquiring. I'd get a lead, once in a while, and it was just really interesting.
Hmm.
The leads were, across the country in Virginia, and I'm like, "Okay, yes, we could do it," but, it was, weird stuff like that. But now that we're getting leads, I wanna talk about ghosting for a minute because
Yeah,
I
totally.
see floral designers and wedding planners and photographers talking about being ghosted, and there's such
Hmm.
a big reason why you're being ghosted.
Yeah.
And with our sales system, which I'm gonna take you through on how I go from inquiry to pitch call to agreement to booking, you have to implement these certain steps so that you don't get ghosted. It's really like ghost proof. But then if they do actually n- ghost you and they're not, I don't want to say conforming, but conforming to what we're doing for them, then they're not your client anyway because you don't want to work with a client that doesn't communicate with you.
Yeah, and so, what I've seen also, with hundreds of people, um well, first of all, let me back up a little bit, and I'll come back to this, getting all these thoughts right now, but so forgive me, I'm bouncing around. But you mentioned that there was a time in 2025 where you weren't really, like, people across the industry weren't really getting that many inquiries. People are, like, tripping, like, "What the heck's going on?" Right? Most of those people are the ones that were not running ads, any kinda paid strategy, okay? So that's where the paid strategy fills that gap in beautifully. And it's so crazy to be in other forums, myself as a photographer, seeing people just crying and complaining that I need to get a second job. And, it's fine. People do what they need to do, and that's great. But oh my gosh, I would always preach, hey, have you guys thought about, paid strategies? No, that's for people that are desperate. Well, hello, you're desperate, right? But it doesn't have to come down to that. It's just going to fill in those gaps if there is a lull somewhere in the industry or during the time of in between booking season and non-booking season, whatever. But then on top of that, when things are cranking, when it is booking season, like right now, it's just like it's insane. The floodgates come in of inquiries, and then it's really up to you on what you want to do. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, you're right. There is a lot of ghosting. And what's interesting is when you get an inquiry, all right, and most likely that person probably inquired with a bunch of other people. And so you're in a pool of about 5 to 10 other vendors in your own category, plus other categories and stuff. And some people are just super excited. They just, decided, okay, I could start planning right now. And people are darn busy right now. So they send that inquiry out and they get overwhelmed, consumed with life, and they get a ton of emails, responses, let's get in a call and all this stuff, right? And they don't even know what to do. And they just kind of push it aside for a little bit. And then eventually maybe they'll come back. So, how we avoid ghosting, my friends, there's a specific way to do it. And not too many people are doing this, right? And especially with paid strategies, it's really important to follow this. And we'll show you guys it's fine. You guys try it out and figure this out and see if you could do it. But yeah,
Here's the
I
thing
mean,
about the desperation mindset of paid strategies. It doesn't have to come off desperate. It's going to come off beautiful, and you're going to attract the attention of that couple with your work.
yeah,
And when we're on our live legacy calls with our members, we want them to share their screen. I want to see their ads, you want to see their ads,
yeah.
everybody wants to see their ads, and we actually give real feedback on,
Hmm.
hey, maybe adjust the font. This is really beautiful. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about a different image? We're not leaving you hanging of you're just throwing something up there that looks desperate. You're not going on camera and saying like, "I really need weddings. Like, please book
Yep.
me." No, you're
Yep.
coming off as an elevated curator of the wedding industry that are going to attract the couples that you want with paid ads.
Totally. And you brought up a good point, and this reminds me of a piece of our call yesterday when somebody had their ad up. We were checking it out and stuff, and we designed a bot that checks your ads. You could run a screenshot to it and all that stuff. It does a really good job. But we still need a human element. So when you share it with us, we're going to catch things that maybe the bot's not going to catch, and just refine it even further so you could have success. Right. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah. So with the paid ad with the ads, that is like your other support system. You still need to respond to the leads. And
Hmm.
again, like us as planners, one of the first questions once we get on a discovery call is, how's your wedding planning experience going? How many planners have you talked to? No joke, people are saying like 6 to 10. So, how are you going to stand out, whether you're a photographer, floral designer, videographer, wedding planner, content creator? How are you going to stand out where you are perceived with value to what you're
Yep.
charging?
Yep.
And make them feel comfortable and confident moving forward with you. So
Totally.
when we get the lead, we go through it actually. We go through it and we're like, does this first and foremost, does this wedding align with Roke events?
Mhm.
Right? Like, if it is an automatic, like, we're looking for a day of coordinator, I'm not going to get on a pitch call with them, but
Yeah.
it is an opportunity for me to be kind and refer out.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Hey, we're really full service planning and design, but we love working or suggesting X, Y, and Z planners. So,
Yep.
and then let me just tell you, like, yes, Roke events, like we do large scale weddings. We are still full transparency. We are still getting inquiries for like a $40,000 wedding, a
Mhm.
$60,000 wedding. People
Mhm.
just don't know. what they
Yeah.
don't know about
Right.
weddings. So, most likely, we'll respond to I'm just gonna two-part it here. We'll respond to that lead and just say what our starting price is, and I know that's kind of going against our system, but also time is money, money is time, and I don't want them to feel disappointed and disconnected on the call because we're like, "We start at this price, but that's kind of like half of your budget," right? I
Mhm,
just don't
mhm.
want them to feel weird about it. So
I think it's different for each vendor too, each vendor group. The important thing is we teach these tools and you kind of have to use them. You know your brand best. And as a planner versus a florist versus a photographer, there's different ways to take these tools and implement, right? Yeah.
absolutely. So, in our inquiry contact form, we make sure that we get their phone number. And this is a huge part of the strategy. And people are so scared of this. I was scared of this, but you know what? It's working so well, and I don't feel ghosted anymore. So we get the inquiry. Let's say it's an aligned client. They're looking full service. They were referred. They found us on Instagram. They have a healthy budget. I always run my inquiries through my specific Roke Events chat in ChatGPT because it knows the language.
Hmm.
And it helps me just refine a little bit and connect a little bit more with the couple rather than me sitting here going, "Hi, Abby and Jacob. Great to meet you." It's kind of like it already knows my template that I put in there and then it just refines it based off of what they're looking for. Of course, I read it, I adjust it, but it is nice. And I'm going to just blast out there. Yes, I do use that as a help tool to make us just a little bit more refined. After I send that to schedule a call, I actually send a text message.
Hmm.
"Hey, Abby, this is Raquel with Roke Events. I just sent you an email about connecting. Your wedding sounds amazing. Does this Friday at 4:30 PM work for you to get on a Google Meet with me and Claire?" There's that, like, instant connection. You're
Yeah.
not waiting
Beautiful.
for the email to come back. So then they respond and they're like, "Oh my gosh, hi." And they're usually like, "Oh my god, I'm connecting via text. This is, like, so exclusive." You know?
Yeah.
Because that, like, glass wall falls down. And
Yep.
it's like, now I'm on a texting basis with this bride. It's just me and the bride. I'm not doing a group text with me and Claire. It's just me and the bride. And
Hmm.
then I say, "Okay, great. That time works. I'll send you an email with the Google Meet link." Okay, now we're back on email. Then the
Hmm.
day before, or like depending on the time, a few hours before the call, I text again. "Hey, we're
Hmm.
looking forward to seeing you on our call today. Let us know if anything changed on your schedule." Okay, now that's a second point of contact before we even talk on the phone or on Google Meet. Then once we're on the Google Meet, this is where it gets really interesting, and I learned this from Alex, and it's really, really great. So, yes, we do the small talk. "How are you? Where are you calling in from?" And then you wanna lay out how the call is going to go. And
Hmm.
basically, you're just like, we love love. That's what we say. We love love. We love weddings. We want to hear your love story. Like I want to like hear about your story. And then I want to see how the wedding planning process is going for you so far. And then Claire and I want to have the opportunity to show you behind the scenes of what it would look like if you were working with us at Roke Events. How does that sound? Awesome. Okay, great. Start with the love story. Don't like, okay, and I'm selling and I'm selling and I'm selling. Like, let them get in the romance of their engagement and the love that while they're doing this in the first place, right?
Yeah, and it's cool because you're laying down a foundation on how the call is going to go. And so there's a structure there and it keeps you in control. Okay. But in a conversative way and not in a salesy way. So it feels natural. And you're listing out things that are going to be important for them to go over. So
Right.
fantastic. That's great.
So we hear their love story and then we're like, "Oh my gosh, that's so great. We resonate, resonate, resonate." And say, "Well, how's the wedding planning process coming along? Are we your first call? Have you talked to other wedding planners?" "Oh
Hmm.
my gosh." Okay, so to the 2 last pitch calls, it's like, "Actually, this is a curveball. You're our first planner that we're talking
Yeah.
to." I'm like,
There you go.
that takes off a little bit of like my advantage. So
Hmm.
let's just say that they were like, "You're our 6th planner that we're talking to.
Mhm.
I also had that in the last couple weeks. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that must feel a little overwhelming to you. I'm sure you're just like, so much information. Well, this call, we're gonna just take it easy." But I really wanna know, like, what made you continue wedding planning, calls? Like, what made you not move forward with the other wedding planners?
Totally.
Boom,
Something's
I wanna know.
misaligning. They're still looking. What's
Yeah.
going on?
I
Yeah.
wanna know, and they're like, "Oh, well, one planner or the other planners were just charging too much." Here I am, I'm using my sales brain, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, do tell, how much were they charging?" No joke, this girl was like $80,000 for planning, and I was like, "For a $250,000 budget, no one should be paying 80 a wedding planner $80,000."
Mhm.
And I told her that, and I was just really transparent. I was like, "That's a lot of money for your budget, and if you
Mhm.
need to include wedding planning within that budget, like, that's, like, a lot of design gone." So it's a disadvantage for a wedding planner who's in that tier to plan a quarter of $1 million wedding because then they won't have anything to design with.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
okay, so I back pocket that, right? I don't say much. I'm not like, "Okay, well, we charge." No,
Right.
I'm not saying that. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's so interesting." And then the other point of why they didn't move forward with another planner is that they were a team of 1. And so
Wow.
they were very nervous about, "Well, what if something happens to you?" And I was like, "That is why we have Claire. Claire and me work side by side." I said, "Claire's gonna be your lead, but as the founder and executive producer, I am on every single email. So if Claire's sick, I know exactly what's going on your wedding day."
Mhm.
And they were like,
Yep.
"That is incredible." And I was like, "Okay, great." So then we talk about what makes you happy about your wedding? What do you want at your wedding? Talk about the design. Again, I'm segmenting to another happy place before
Mhm.
we get into the behind the scenes and kind of salesing of what we do.
Mhm.
So you're kind of like flowing in and out of like happiness, sales strategy,
Yeah. This is
love.
this is this is an exciting time for them, and so you're keeping it upbeat, you're keeping them happy, and this is like, grab the champagne, guys. We're here to
Right.
have a good time and have a great conversation about what's important for you, basically. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So they share, "Well, we really want this and this many people, and oh my gosh, can I share the Pinterest board with you?" And we're like, "Share your screen. Yes, we want to see it. It's so beautiful. Like, get into it." I act as if I'm already their planner. I'm
Nice.
already making suggestions to them on how to maximize their budget in their area. And I say that, I'm like, "Hey, on this call, we are your planners."
Yep.
And
There
it's
you
just
go.
psychologically, they're like, "Okay, I like that." They're not trying to hard sales me. So we get into their Pinterest board and then we're like, "Okay, so how," we check on time. "How are you doing on time?" "Great, it's been 30 minutes." We've got 30 minutes left to lock this in. So I say, "Okay, I'm turning it over to Claire. We're going to share a screen. We're going to take you through every step of the way of this planning process." And this is where we share their vendor list, a budget spreadsheet sample, questionnaires, timelines, Pinterest boards that we've already done with other couples that align with their budget, a vision board, floor plans. I literally show them everything.
Yeah.
Seating chart templates, how we help
Yep.
them, we need their feedback on. And at the end, they're like, "Oh my gosh, this was a lot of information, but I feel so much better being able to see what I'm
Yes. And you
getting with
see.
you.
Totally.
So it's less overwhelming for me." Right.
Yep. Yeah. They need to see it. They need to feel it. And when you show them, it makes a big difference. Most
Yeah.
people don't. Yeah.
So the final strategy is before you get off of the call, you're already having your proposal template. And this is for wedding planners. I know it's different for photographers because you're taking
Hmm.
them through your proposal building.
Yep.
But for us, it's like the services are the services, like we're full
Hmm.
service, we do everything. So I already have a template. I already changed their names before we even got on the call. And then I go in and I'm like, "Okay, what is their budget? What were other planners costing? What can we charge where we would profit, make money, and we're not losing money on this
Hmm.
wedding?" Which I've
Hmm.
done many times. I've lost
Yep.
money. More work, more design meetings, more labor, and that just is gone. So then I went way below 80,000 for this girl, and when I presented that to her, she was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so great. Oh, I feel so much better." Guess what? They signed the next day.
Wow. Boom. Exactly.
You
You
have
just
to
had a
share it.
conversation. Yep.
Yeah,
You led the call. basically, in a very easy conversation way. Yeah, everything you kept the energy high, happy, positive, and you just had a good conversation with them with some structure. And this structure works across all vendors, I think, and most people aren't doing this.
Right. The key point is because it's a website format, so they have their own URL for the proposal. I say, "Hey, do you mind if do you want me to can I text you? I'm going to text you this proposal link. Do you want us to email it to you as well?" Most of the time they're like, "No, no, it's okay, just text it." I texted on the call from my computer. I'm like, "Hey, did you get it?" "Yep, I got it." "Perfect." "Okay, great." So now I've texted them again the proposal link. They could text it, forward it to all their family members who's helping making a decision. And then, a few days later, I could check back in. Hey, how's it going? How's wedding planning coming along? How many other calls do you have? I just had a text back from a bride yesterday. It was like, "Oh my gosh, happy new year. Thank you so much for following up. I have a couple more calls with wedding planners this week, but you guys are my front runners and you really set the bar high and you gave me
Mhm.
so much information to go off of. So I'm really thankful for you."
Yep. Yeah, and this goes back to the classic dress to impress. The best impressions are the first impression is the best impression, right? So, and that's what you did. You nailed it. You hit it out of the park. You stand out from the others, and that's going to be they're going to remember that. And if that's the first experience they're having with you, and it's really you're setting that bar really high. I mean, that's the type of like that's a luxury is just an amazing experience. Everything feels good. It feels quality. You feel heard. That's how I think that's what luxury is things are just like easy going, right? It's not a material thing, right? And I think a lot people in the industry, Gen Z especially, they're not looking for that luxury item. They're looking for that experience big time right now and that human connection. So you hit all that in your sales call and they feel aligned and they're like, let's do this. Yeah. Amazing. It works.
Yeah, it works. It works. And that's what we teach in Legacy. We literally Alex has a leading the call video, and then I
Hmm.
also for wedding planners, we're working on floral designers right now. Very
Yep.
exciting. But
Yep.
we take you through what that looks like exactly
Hmm.
in that amount of detail. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's cool. Like there's more to it. There's more structure and there's a way to do this. But again, these are just tools to use and implement. Like sometimes me as a photographer, it might be different for you as a planner, but even if I do get somebody that comes to my website and says and inquires, "Oh my gosh, I think you're way out of our budget, but just curious how much do you charge?" If I get something like that, I have their number. I text them right away before I even email them or anything. Hey, just got your inquiry. Thank you so much. Would love to just, touch base with you. Do you have 5 minutes right now just to see if we're in alignment with a few things? I have a couple questions for you, and I think it'd be best if we just do it over the phone call really quick. From there, we could decide if we want to jump on a full on like 30-minute Zoom or something. Most people respond like immediately. Yeah, I do have a couple minutes. Awesome. And I jump on that call with them and I just kind of suss it out. Is their budget, 5,000? Mm, and I'm trying to get to 10K or something like that. I mean, that's a pretty big jump, but I started asking questions. Well, how'd you get to 5K? Why is it 5K? Are you doing this on your own? Or is that or have you had calls with other people? Is that what people are pitching you? Or, you know, at least it gives you a chance to figure out like where their mindset is. And from there, I have the ability to either decide like, actually, I think it's still worth it for us to jump on a Zoom. So let's do this. I'm going to house tomorrow, X, whatever time. And they're down for it and they're going to show up and we go through it. And I've closed so many sales like that. Their budget's 3,000, 5,000, or something like that. And I've got them on a 15K package, and they had no idea. They just don't know. And so sometimes, even with those low end looking inquiries, I at least text them, try to get them on a quick call for alignment and then go from there, But, most of the time when people inquire, I feel like my website does a really good job at vetting out the people that, when you come to my website, not to be, Mr. High and Mighty over here, but when you come to my website, it doesn't look like a $2,500 service. you know? So, it does the filtering for me. So for the most part, when I get an inquiry, it's a good inquiry all the time, and that's from branding, messaging, and all that good stuff there. That naturally filters everything out, and I don't even have to list prices on my website, which is amazing.
We
So
don't suggest listing prices on our website,
but
right?
yeah, yeah,
Just
exactly, you don't. Totally.
it's hard. I had a photographer that listed a price
Mhm,
for like, they actually had their packages on their website,
mhm,
and they're a really great photographer, and I referred them to a couple, and I said, "Hey, I think that, our budget for photography is 12,000."
mhm,
The site, he had 11,000, and, um the couple found that after the contract was signed, and we had to
mhm.
do a little massaging of, like, and it put me in an interesting place as the
Yeah,
planner to be like, "Oh, that was the 2025 price. It's 2026 now," but that doesn't feel good, and so I went to the photographer, I said, "What can we offer them as a bonus to make up the difference of that?" Because they saw that price, and now they're feeling like, "Well, why did I get upsold when that's what they were marketing?" And so, the photographer's like, "Oh my gosh, I asked my web designer to take that off," but you have to be super in sync with your site. You have to know
mhm.
what's on there. And, people you don't know what people's budgets are going to be. The wedding planner or they are going to assess like what they want to spend. And if your price is significantly lower than what their budget is and your work is beautiful, they're gonna be like, "Well, why are they this much? Are
Yeah,
they not worth it? Are they" and it's this weird psychological game that they play with themselves of like, "Oh, our budget's 12,000, but they start at 5.
yeah, yeah.
What are we getting with a $12,000 photographer that we're not getting with this $5,000 photographer
Mhm.
that we love their work?" So, I would just not put your pricing on your website.
Yeah, and there's confusion on that because a lot of people do feel that they do need to put pricing on their website. I personally feel that there is a season for that and there's times to do that. It just really depends on your situation, what season you're in, where you live, where you're marketing and all that. So it just kind of depends.
Yeah. We were helping a legacy member. She was at, like, a lower range and doing
Mhm.
mostly, like, City Hall, San Francisco City Hall weddings, and so
Yeah,
we really helped her format more of a landing page rather than this, like, full built out wedding photography website, and that's where we put the pricing so that she could sell volume to get
yeah,
more content because she was like, starting out. That's, I think, what you're meaning, like, time and place and situation.
yeah, for sure. 100%. Yeah, so wild. It's fun. People don't like sales. People frown on sales. They feel like, "Oh, I don't want to be salesy." But dude, you have your own business. You have to get savvy with it. You don't have to be a car sales person. You just have to know how to have a good conversation, and there's structure to it. And, we could show you how to do. We didn't even get into ghosting at all. That's a whole other thing. And people, here's the thing. 2026 it's so different. It's so different. It's wild how like I don't know. I'm already getting inquiries for 2028. Like what the heck? It's so crazy.
It's too
So like
far. Things can
I know way
change.
too far. Like I'm
Don't
not
do it.
no. Hell no.
Um,
But like it's just no, go ahead. Go ahead. But I'll
the
chime
ghosting
in.
thing, with the text message method, it's difficult to be ghosted when you're, like, right in front of them. Now, I am being ghosted by someone right now.
Mhm.
And they've been leading me on for, like, 2, 3 months, okay? They're like, "Can we have another call? Can we have another call?" I'm doing the texting thing. "Hey, just checking in. Hey, we're starting to book 2027 in the spring," you know? And then I got a third call, and she was like, "We're moving forward with you." I was like, "Great." I sent them the agreement. Ghost. And I'm like,
Ghost, yeah.
"Hey, text messaging. What's going on?" "Well, can we have a conversation about it?" I was like, I it was literally, like, the day before Christmas. And I was just
My
like, "Hey,
gosh.
I'm not available, like, today, but I'm available on, like, this other day," whatever. Ghosted. Still haven't heard from her. I'm like, "You know what,
I know.
though? Not
It
aligned.
happens.
Not my
Yeah,
person."
and it could be some red flags, but the cool thing is you're having consistency with inquiries, so you gotta be okay with just being like, "You know what? Whatever. If it happens, cool. If it doesn't, then maybe I avoided something here." And
Exactly.
it's interesting, like 2026 is, I just feel like Gen Z is not into luxury. They like premium things, but they want authenticity. They want an honest approach. They're secretly into understated luxury. They're not going to bloat about it. And they'll pay for an experience, though. I mean, look at them. They're going to Coachella. What the heck's that music thing? Coachella. They're going to Coachella, spending $10,000 on a weekend. It's an experience. You know what I'm saying? And so I think a lot of people gotta tap into that and think about, okay, how can I provide an amazing experience? What I've been doing for a long time already is just really honing down on a weekend experience. It's not just a one day, and that brings the price up, and you just got to get good at introducing that approach to people. A lot of people, again, they just think it's just, I don't need a wedding photographer or videographer. But anyway, the ghosting thing, you can't just send an email anymore. You just can't do it. It doesn't work. There's so many other things. Each inquiry that you get has to be approached in a very unique way. And you can't have a template. There's some people that have, let's say when somebody inquires, okay, and it'll go, when they inquire, it goes to like a thank you page or something like that. And on that thank you page, sometimes there's a video breaking down, hey, these are expectations. This is how I do. And if, maybe sometimes they'll have some starting rates there. And then it leads to like a calendar so they could book a call with them. That's good and all. But I feel that that's still a little too templatey, at least for the people that I'm going to be working with. They don't want that template feel and vibe.
Mhm.
I think that model works great for people that just need either turn and burn, or they have a lot of volume. There's a lot of volume. You need some systems. That's fantastic. But, if you're like us, you want to deal with maybe 20 weddings tops, 15 to 20 weddings, each person has to be different, each approach. So you do I strongly recommend making these individual videos. When somebody inquires, spend a little time, 2, 3 minutes on a quick video addressing them, their venue, their situation, whatever they said on that contact form, address it, send that out to them. But you know what I did that sets me apart from everyone else? I created something very special for my clients. It is not a PDF guide. It is something that people could use today in today's market and in today's AI tech. I'm not going to give it away, not right now, but it works. It makes me stand out. And like I said, I test these things out before I teach them. So I'm kind of in that stage right now. But so far, dude, the response I get from people, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah,
And they love it. It's
right.
incredible. So,
I think we did share it on our legacy call yesterday,
yeah,
and,
exactly.
you know, we're not teaching it yet, but we did share and people were interested. They're like, "Oh, what is that?" Like,
Yeah,
"Cool,
right.
do that,"
Yeah,
and so we're again, like, we're in it,
burn it.
just coaches that are just, like, outside looking in, "This is what's worked in the past, this is has to work what's now."
Hmm.
We're coaching right alongside with you and learning with you. We just have a system that really works. So,
Works good. Yep.
what
Heck
else I
yeah.
just talk about really quick is our upcoming retreats.
Mm.
We have
Okay.
the retreat, which is a very intimate group of 10 planners. It will be
Mm.
held at the Four Seasons on February 3rd. And I'm literally going to take you through all of these systems. Systems. The only thing I don't take you through is ads because you get 3 months of the legacy membership after the retreat.
Nice.
And that's where you can learn ads from Alex.
Yep.
Alex is the king of ads. And so
Heck
it
yeah.
is just very like unique experience where it's just going to be 10 planners plus myself plus Claire, and we're going to have a great day at the Four Seasons. We're going to have an elevated lunch. We're going to tour the property, updated headshots. We have a content creator, we have a photographer, you get all of the content, and we're going to go through their systems, their website, their Instagram, and I'm going to give them real coaching feedback for an entire day. It's going to be amazing.
Amazing. Sounds incredible. What's the date? Did you say?
February 3rd at the Four
February
Seasons.
3rd. Wow.
You can go to
Amazing.
lapearlretreats.com and click on the retreats. The second one is at the new Appalachian Hotel in Healdsburg, California. It
That's gonna
is
be incredible.
gorgeous.
Yes.
What I like
Mhm.
about this is that
Mhm.
they don't have a full wedding season in.
Yep.
And
What does that
so
mean?
that means that when you photograph the couples, the ceremony, the cocktail hour, the dinner, the signage, and tag Appalachian, you're going to be showing a brand new property that no one's really shot before, like
Mhm.
captured and put on
Yep.
Instagram. It's gonna be fresh. It's gonna add dimension to your portfolio. It is just going to be amazing. And of course, I'm designing it and it's
Yep.
stunning. I'm
And
just
it's
working on
Healdsburg.
some details right now. That's why I haven't showed a board yet, but it's gonna be more like rich colors, like browns, creams, and then I'm adding a touch of like this amazing blue. It is not blue like royal blue, okay? It is
Mhm.
absolutely stunning. And the vendors who are hopping on board to help bring this all to life are very excited about it.
It's
And then
incredible. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, in Healdsburg, this is not a cheap area to get married in. So if you're one of the first people that has content and you're putting on your socials or whatever, right, and using it for ads or something, oh my gosh, dude. Like,
Exactly.
this is not a
Who's this property?
yeah, this property is incredible.
It's
So
wine country, it's destination, it's brand new, it's right across the
mhm.
street from the Montage, Healdsburg,
Yep.
which is very saturated on social media, if I
Mm,
do say so. I mean, we've just posted Montage, Healdsburg, right? Another property that is just so close to my heart is Solage in Calistoga, which is Napa Valley, and
I love
I'm
that place.
taking this design just so it's just ivories, whites, and then, like, touches of burnt oranges and reds. It is
Mm.
gonna be so modern and so different from what the normal wedding is looking like, but it's going to be elevated and approachable.
Mhm.
That is gonna
Mhm.
be excuse me, so much different than the Appalachian retreat, and I'm doing that on purpose so that photographers and videographers and content creators can potentially go to both, and then
Yeah.
there's your content for your year that boosts the beginning of the year, and then you have your weddings. So,
Yeah. Totally.
retreat's February 3rd, Appalachian in Healdsburg is February 25th, and then Solage Napa Valley is April 2nd, and you can find it at lapearlretreats.com/retreats.
Awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. And sometimes I'll get messages from people, DMs. I don't know if I have the content ready for legacy or anything like that. And it's like, okay, well, we actually offer retreats where you could create content. So don't worry about it. You're going to have the content and we'll teach you how to market that content.
Right,
So
exactly.
it's great. It's
And in the
fantastic.
retreats, we have an education period. So you come to the retreat and we
Hmm.
have 2 hours of education.
Yeah.
And we're in a roundabout setting. This is not a, "Hey, we're on a microphone, look at our
Hmm.
spreadsheet, look at our presentation of
Hmm.
stats." It is us talking in a group where we feel connected to you, you feel connected to us. It's a safe space to ask questions, but it is a structured education piece.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, the La Pearl retreat in Palm Springs, everyone loved the education portion of it. It
Yeah,
was
because they're involved also. They're asking the hard questions, right? And then it's not only us answering, it's others that might have a little bit of experience as well in a certain
right,
area. So it's pretty
right,
cool. Everyone
right.
feels heard, involved, and part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we all break for lunch, and
Hmm.
when you get
A
back
good
from
lunch,
lunch
tasty.
really good lunches.
You always hook us up with a lunch, a good lunch,
Because
always.
I'm a planner, and I want my vendors to be taken care of every single wedding. No
That's
box
right.
lunches,
We
okay?
appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I've worked with you at weddings, and you're always like, "We have an amazing food lineup set for you guys for the vendors." It's
Yeah,
incredible. Yeah, I
yeah,
love that.
absolutely. The vendors are what's making this all possible.
Mhm,
And then we will shoot a real wedding. Let me just say, if and when we sell out the 20 seats for, the 2 photographer videographer retreats, we really wanna bring on a second couple,
mhm,
so that, um, 10 people are shooting one couple and 10 people are shooting the other couple, and we really maximize the timeline of ceremony, cocktail hour, dinner, and sunset golden hour photos, the details of a seating chart. Literally, we're designing and building an entire wedding for you to shoot. This is not just like little mini pieces and then it looks like that on your socials. You can actually put this as a full wedding gallery. So,
mhm,
that's why it's so important to do these retreats if you really want to transition into, like, lower end to mid-tier or mid-tier to high tier. This is the
mhm.
content. And there's only
Yeah,
20 photographers each, so it's not saturated with 30, 40 photographers
yeah.
posting all over the internet. It's really just
There's
20
plenty
people.
of time to shoot, be creative as well. It's not you only have 2 minutes to do it. Like, no, hell no.
We are masters of
I've been
time
to those.
over here.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, that's great.
We hope to see you guys there. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
See you on the next one, y'all. Take care.